We talked about it at the end of the season. I think every team comes in wanting to play faster and trying to play faster. And it's funny because you watch following other sports, following football, and that's what teams are talking about getting bigger, stronger, faster players so they can play a faster game. And it's no different. I would bet 29 other teams are saying the same thing. We gotta play faster. We gotta play harder. Those types of things. I was impressed with some guys today. I thought and you can tell too because there were some guys that really put in some time and sacrifice this summer. And I'm not gonna say it was a noticeable difference, but there were some guys that were pretty good today.
Who were some of those guys, Todd?
Well, I was impressed with again guys that you're looking for as far as to lead. I thought Doobie was great. The way he battled and competed, and again, you're looking for leaders to kind of set the tone and set the pace. And he's a guy when he's going in practices like that as a coach, I don't have to drive practice because he's one of the guys that's driving it. There were lots of other guys, here and there, and maybe it's the first time seeing certain players, like a Gibbons or somebody like that, somebody that can skate. And I thought our young defenseman, I thought Goluboff had a good day. So there were lots of guys that I thought came out. And you're going to get that the first day, though. You're going to get that energy, that excitement, and all that. We just like to bottle that up, and because in dog days of February, you could probably use some of that.
A couple guys mentioned how you've tweaked your system a little bit from last year. Is that about playing faster?
Well, we're trying to find ways that we can play faster. It's interesting because we might have tweaked a couple things, and it's not big changes, but all the video that we used to change things were things that we did.
So you're like.
So it's not necessarily, and it was interesting from a coaching standpoint. And there were some things that just kind of, I'm going to use evolved. And how you played in your own zone, how you played in defensive zone. To me, how we also played in the neutral zone. It just evolved into something. It wasn't necessarily that it was coached, but as coaches we were seeing it and we're like, well, it's working. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's not like we went in and we said, okay, guys, we see this. This is what we're going to do.
Right.
We were kind of just watching it and seeing it. And if it obviously went off the rails, we'd have to deal with it. But for the most part, the players managed it, understood it, knew what they were doing, and it worked well. Yeah. So all the clips that we showed today, as far as the tweaks, it was us doing it.
Okay. So this shouldn't have been entirely new.
Well, it's new because it probably sounds different.
Okay.
But they did it.
Yeah. Is playing fast as much about your head as it is your feet?
You can play fast in two ways, I think. It's with your legs. Okay. Obviously, our players, you want your players to put in the time and get bigger, stronger, faster. I think they did that this summer. There was an investment there. And the second way you can play is smart, just using your head.
Yeah.
And understanding, anticipation, knowing where the puck's going to go, but also having a really good understanding of where you need to be. And as we talked as coaches, the area that I think that we can control where we get faster in systematic play is exactly that, our positional play. And trying to be more disciplined, having a lot more structure in our game. One thing that I wanted to do was try to eliminate, some chaos in our own zone. And we were fine. We weren't bad. I mean, obviously, we had success last year, and we were good. But I still think if we can execute and be better in that area, it'll allow us to play faster.
Is that better support from forwards?
Better support from forwards, better execution from our defense. Trying to do things quickly, under pressure, under duress. And, that's what we try to do at the offensive zone, put guys under pressure where they turn the puck over. And we just have to be better when teams are doing that to us.
Is that why the defensive pairs, you don't want to read too much into the first day, but you had Savard with Johnson, Tootin with Proud, Eriksson with Wisniewski. You've seen, I think those played together a few times last year, but those weren't your standard sets last year. Are you looking at different things to see if it gets quicker?
Not necessarily quicker, but we're starting out. Still got a long ways to go here in training camp before game one. We're just trying different combinations and looking at different things. It may switch up tomorrow and be something else. The real test is going to be when we get into games and we start playing. And we have to see if some of these young guys can play, see what they can do. Where do they fit? Maybe it's not starting here on this team, but where do they fit depth-wise? As I said, Cody Goluboff, I thought, came in and had a good day today. And, that's what you want to do. You want to come in and impress the first day where coaches are talking to you in a positive way instead of a negative way.
Your
groups you had today? Is that how you split them up Sunday?
No,
2 games?
no. Teams will be comprised, obviously, of both groups.
Who are you coaching Sunday?
I'm coaching here.
Okay. And who will coach in Carolina?
Hartsey.
Okay.
Today,
Hartsey's 1-0. He's 1-0. He won last
Did he
year in
remind you
Minnesota.
that, or did he have to?
He did remind me.
Yeah.
I assume today was your first day on the same sheet of ice with Alexander Wentberg. Is that correct?
Yes, obviously I had seen him play, watched him in training camp, or the prospect camp, and watched him play up in Traverse City. But this was the first time I was out on the ice.
I mean, did you notice some of the things that we've been hearing from Yarmo and some others about, what this guy can be and what he might be able to do for you?
Yarmo knows a lot more about him than I do, only from a sense that he's seen him play, and he's seen him play for a long time. For me, a real test was to see what he would do up in Traverse City against his own peers, and to me, he was at a level above a lot of guys that were there, which says a lot because there's some great talent up there. There's good teams and some good talent. You watch him out here, and he fits right in. But there's still a lot that he has to. Again, it's the first day, lots of energy, lots of excitement, but he comes across as a headsy player. A guy that thinks the game well. You can see that when you did watch the games up in Traverse City. But the games, when you start playing against men at the NHL level, is going to be at a different speed. And when you're down low battling, competing, you aren't competing against 19 or 20-year-olds. You're competing against 30-year-olds, full-grown men that are 220, 230 pounds. So it's going to be different.
Would that make you hesitant to maybe put him in a fourth-line role if he was to make this club? I mean, do you view him as a top 9 kind of guy?
He's got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. And I'm not saying yes or no to that. You got to see how your team shapes up, and if by chance he was in that position, I'd feel fine with it because he looks like a headsy, smart player.
Tomorrow more system work?
Yes, and that's why we aren't scrimmaging. I've done that in the past, and again, when I look back at it, I'm thinking to myself, I know other coaches do it, but I'm thinking to myself, why would I be scrimmaging if I haven't gone over things systematically?
Yeah. Right.
Because it turns into a shinny hockey, and guys are doing stuff wrong, and it may turn into bad habits. But I do also see the other way, where you want game-like situations up and down the ice, but that's what you try to do in practice. Try to create that so there are, and we did a lot of battling today, a lot of one-on-ones, one-on-twos, whatever, 3-on-2s, where guys had to battle and compete down low. And the message to the guys last night at our meeting was, we got to approach our practices to get ready for games. And you got to take it upon yourself to drive the team, make yourself better, but also make your teammates better.
You wanted your veterans to play in 5 out of 8 games last year. Same this year?
It's around the same number.
No Murray today?
I'm sorry?
No Ryan Murray today?
No. Ryan is a guy that's kind of right now. We're managing him.
Okay. The knee.
We're just managing Ryan.
I'm going to throw a captain question.
Oh, you have to do it.
Have you gotten calls or had conversations with other coaches around the league, kind of picking your brain as to how this has worked?
No, have not. The only guy who called me on it, I think, was Pierre LeBrun, because I think he did I don't even know if the stories come out at all. He was the only guy, because I think he was following what was going up in Montreal and just kind of wanted, obviously, my viewpoint on it.